In the fight against inflation, which is roaring right now, in the past hour, the Federal Reserve announced they'll hike the interest rates. This is the first hike since 2018.
And it's aimed, right, at helping to stop the soaring prices that all of us have been seeing, rather, on everything from our grocery bills to our gas bills. And this comes as oil prices dip back below $100 a barrel. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze joining us now to break down what this all means for American consumers, for all of us, really. Let's talk about how the Fed's decision today to raise rates will affect the average American household. Elizabeth?
Hey, Kara. Well, the bottom line for the average American household here is that the cost of borrowing money, it's going to get more expensive. So think about your mortgage, your credit card bills. The Federal Reserve here is using its key tool, which is raising interest rates, to try to slow down how much both businesses and consumers are borrowing. And this is a way to try to slow down overall spending in the economy to try to bring down higher inflation. You guys mentioned prices are running at the highest level in 4 decades. And this is clearly something the Federal Reserve is worried about. So today's move, it's small, 25 basis points in interest rates. That's not massive, but what's important to know here is that the Fed is signaling that it's going to raise rates 6 more times this year. That will make the cost of borrowing more expensive all throughout the year for you.
And Elizabeth, the war in Ukraine, that's what we're talking about. How does it play in the Fed's thinking with all of the sanctions on Russia, with the devastation in Ukraine, the disruption in the world in general? How much is that impacting the Fed's thinking, and why?
Terry, this was a key question that Federal Reserve Chair Jay Powell got today, and his main answer here is the uncertainty that it causes. We've already seen higher crude oil prices because of some concerns about supply disruptions because of the war translate into higher gas prices. That could mean consumers have less money to spend on other parts of the economy. And the Fed also is concerned that overall supply chains, something we've been talking about a lot throughout the pandemic, that the war in Ukraine could disrupt those further, which would also result in higher inflation. So the reality is here, the Federal Reserve is acknowledging the war in Ukraine probably going to lead to higher prices for longer than they had expected or even hoped. It could also slow down overall economic growth in the economy, depending on how long this crisis drags on.
All right, let's talk about what's going on with oil and gas prices. President Biden today actually used his bully pulpit on Twitter here. It says oil prices are decreasing. Gas prices should too. So, Elizabeth, first, what is it that's causing oil prices to go back down, and does it translate to what we're paying at the pump?
Right. So, Kira, the Biden administration has talked a lot about this idea of, are the oil companies taking too much profit before they actually lower prices? The really important thing when it comes to the price you pay at the pump is still supply and demand in the oil market. So this is what we've been talking about with supply concerns, because Russia could cut off its supply. That would mean that overall prices of oil go up, and that means higher gas prices. And that's what we've seen. Now, as we've seen kind of some signs of peace talks, that's led to the decline in the price of oil. There's also this big question mark about China right now, and we've seen more lockdowns in China because of COVID, a totally separate issue, but that would mean there'd be less demand for oil in the overall economy. That would be the other factor that's bringing down prices. So all of that is why we're seeing this price of crude oil below $100 a barrel. Most analysts I'm talking to say that should translate into lower gas prices within the next few days or at least weeks. But of course, we've seen so much volatility in this market just in the past couple of weeks. It's going to be a pretty roller coaster ride here as this continues to play out.
All right, we'll keep following the play out with you. Elizabeth, thanks.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.